Rob Russell, Workhorse Pro, 2021 Grand National Pro Stock Champion. 3 wins, 5 seconds, 3/3. The tools for victory come from science, but winning is an art. Rob Russell's latest masterpiece, completed 28 years after his last. Craftiness never goes away. In Toma, Russell led until Brandon Simon's final hook, and second came in Rockwell, just 20 or so inches behind Mark Lawyer. A third runner-up finish in Chapel Hill as Carlton Cope drove Mike Connie's Mac Nasty to a win. But the steady gait of the workhorse, Case IH, had already put in the first place with a gap that could only widen. Night 2 in Lions Park ended with the Prescott Iowan holding court in his new canvas chair, his first at NTPA competition since the 1993 Super Stock title. A sixth preceded a third in Brandenburg and a lead over Connie of 12. A second preceded a sixth across Mount Sterling and Salem when it grew to 17. It receded by only 1 when Nasty won Napoleon. But even Mike's top 10s and Bowling Greens couldn't gain ground with Rob's posted top 5s. In Wellington and Canton, Russell posted a third, a fourth, and a win, and extended his advantage to 20 points. Insurance against catastrophe in Sandwich, it provided unnecessary as another workhorse win, and third completed one of the most dominant pro stock seasons in modern history. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Rob Russell, your 2021 Grand National Pro Stock Champion.
Hi, my name is Darren Hartwell, and on behalf of the National Tractor Pullers Association, I would like to welcome and congratulate 2021 NTPA Grand National Pro Stock Champion Rob Russell out of Prescott, Iowa, with the Workhorse Pro, Case IH. Rob, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So, you've been pulling a long time. This is your 4th Grand National Championship. You won one in 88, one in 89, and one in 92?
93.
93, excuse me. Tell us how you got started in the sport of pulling.
I grew up as a child. My father pulled back, in Iowa in the 60s and 70s, and then he quit in 72. We concentrated on farming. I started pulling out of the field at the age of 15 in 78.
Okay.
Ran my first Grand National full circuit. I built a Grand National Pro Stock in 84.
Okay.
Changed it to a Super Stock in 85.
Okay.
And 86 was the first year I tried to run a full schedule of 7 Super Stock points. My goal was to qualify for Indy Super Bowl back then in the day. You had to be in the top 10. So I made all the 7 Super Stock pulls in 1986, and then just kind of evolved from there. Like I say, I won my first points title in 88, backed it up in 89, and then we had the influx of the alcohol supers coming into the diesel. It was all one back then, and they got kind of tough on us, and then we was able to come back in 93, the diesel, and win again, and then I actually sold that tractor in 97, took 14 years off to raise a family, got back in the sport a few years ago, built a Pro Stock back.
Okay.
And this is the first year I've tried to run for points. Wasn't the goal to probably run for points this year. We started out well and we just kept doing well, and so our plans changed and we sealed the deal, and I'm very humbled and proud to do that.
That's great, that's great. So let's walk through the season a little bit. Started at Toma. Good finish for you there?
Yes, we got rained out. The first night we rained, I wasn't really planning on going to make that pole.
Okay.
But it ended up, I got there and we got our first night in and was first hook.
Okay.
It ended up second up there, and the next day it rained out, so we went home.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now, how far, Prescott, Iowa, where is that?
Southwest Iowa. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, okay.
I'm actually 90 miles from Des Moines, Iowa, Omaha, Nebraska, or St. Joe, Missouri. So I'm just kind of, it's 7 hours to Toma.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good deal. So the next hook in your home state,
Yes.
up in North Iowa,
Very good.
Rockwell,
Yes.
North Iowa Nationals.
Same deal there. We made a really nice pass. We ended up second amongst the tough competitors, and we got rained out the second day.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But now we're actually, instead of being behind in points, we're tied for the points.
Yes, yes. So the next hook, the next weekend, unfortunately, completely washed out in Franklin, Indiana.
Yeah.
So then from there, we moved to Chapel Hill, Tennessee,
Yeah.
Lions Super Bowl of the South.
And in 93, the last year I won the points, this is kind of a little tidbit, I went into Chapel Hill and I doubled.
Nice.
On both sessions and came out of there and never looked back. So I thought if I could have a good weekend in Chapel Hill, maybe maybe we'll just go ahead and run the rest of these points this year. And anyway, we had a really good weekend there, as you all know. We
Yes.
won the first, or second night we won. We got the second to first night.
Yes.
Won the
yes.
second night, and so we just kept going to the next one.
Right, exactly. Seized the championship lead that you would not relinquish the whole season.
Sure.
So got the director's chair. Well, you'll be on the 2022 Chapel Hill t-shirt with
Very
virtue of the
gracious
win
honor, yes.
on Saturday night there. So from Chapel Hill, you just went up the road up to Brandenburg the next weekend. Tell us about Brandenburg at the Meade
Never-
County Fair.
Never been there before. Very interesting deal. The Phillips family does a phenomenal job helping promote that pole, and when I rolled in there, it's a tight pit area. But Brandon had a spot saved for me.
Okay,
And I
great.
really appreciated the hometown hospitality, great people.
Yeah,
And the going through the tunnel to get to the
Yeah,
track
yeah.
and the whole atmosphere, I was excited to finally really get to pull there. It's a long way from home, but I struggled the first, one of my the two bad hooks. I got, my worst two finishes were sixth this year.
Okay.
And one of them was there. The track was a little tricky, but I bounced back somewhat and got a third the second night. And
Nice.
still left there still increased the points lead.
yeah, exactly. So from Brandenburg is a very interesting, you go through a tunnel and there's actually people behind the track that can overlook the track and watch you. It's kind of an amphitheater
I
style.
kind of call it like a Louisville indoors outdoors. There's
Yeah.
no roof on the top, because you
No.
pull toward a sand pile.
Yes, exactly.
And you enter and exit through a tunnel.
Yes,
So
yes.
I tell people at home, I said, it's kind of like a Louisville without a lid on it. So.
Exactly, exactly. Next weekend was Mount Sterling, Illinois, and Salem, Illinois. So tell us about the Illinois swing.
Well, them two tracks have been tough over the years. I've periodically pulled there, but not consistently. But Mount Sterling is only about 5 hours close to me.
Yeah,
We rolled in over there, and my goal there was not to win, but necessarily try to maintain the points lead.
yeah,
Because it's just-
exactly, exactly.
They're very tough conditions there, and
Yes.
everybody, all the competitors know that. When
Okay.
we fortunately come out of the first night with the second place,
Nice.
and then we rolled into Salem the second night, and another, sixth place, I would normally be happy, but it was a poor finish. I actually points pulled that night. I just tried to lay down and lay up instead of going for it, and that was the last time I did that the rest of the year.
Right, right. So from there, moved to Ohio, Napoleon, Ohio, the Henry County Fair. Just a one-night hook there, the week before Bowling Green.
Got another second. Was that second place a lot this
Yeah,
year?
very consistent.
Yes,
Five
yes.
second place runner-up finishes this year throughout the season.
There was
So-
almost 20 tractors at that event. So you never know what's going to happen there. But yeah, we made it. I never pulled it. That's one thing. These polls coming up, I had pulled at Mount Sterling and Salem. I had never pulled at Brandenburg.
Okay,
I'd never pulled at Napoleon.
Okay.
And later on, I'd never pulled at Canton or Wellington.
Okay.
So we were at events that, I had no history.
Yeah.
Over my career, even back in the 80s, tracks usually don't change. You usually remember there's
Really?
that spot, and
Okay.
you always know
That's
when it's
interesting.
just the ease of going to a facility you've been to. But all these were new to me.
okay.
But I knew once I hit Ohio, you all know Jim Miller.
Yes.
Jim Miller's putting on
Yes.
the pole. He's managing the pole, and he's building the track. So
Yes,
They
and
were
they're
good.
6 hooks in a row in the state of
Yes.
Ohio. So
Lot of drive.
Napoleon, then from Napoleon just went, the next county over to the Wood County Fairgrounds, National Tractor Pulling Championships in Bowling Green, Ohio. So another good weekend there.
yes, 2 top 5. If you can make my goal there is to make the top 5 for the
Yes,
ceremony.
yes,
And that was phenomenal for me. I had a 4th and a 5th, just solid. There was
Yes.
35 or 38 tractors both nights.
Yeah.
The numbers game can really bite you there.
yes,
And like I said, to come out there consistently in the top 5, increase the lead again.
yes.
And stayed ahead of the Connies who were battling right behind me all year.
Yes,
Very tough,
yes.
great competitors. And just, stayed ahead of them there and came out of there with actually increasing the lead again. So
Yes, exactly, exactly. So after Bowling Green, the next Friday, the Friday Night Spectacular in Wellington, Ohio.
Yeah.
So another solid finish for you.
Yeah, I got a 3rd place there, but like I said, beat both Connie tractors again.
Yes,
I'd never been there. It's a good track, good facility, a lot of excitement because the Light Supers and the Unlimiteds finished their season there.
Yes,
So
yes.
it was a very fun
Yeah.
night.
Yeah,
A long way from home,
champions.
another 12 and a half, 13-hour trip for a mile out there and back, but we made it. And yeah,
nice, nice. So Labor Day weekend, you go to the Stark County Fair in Canton, Ohio.
Uh,
Big pro stock country in Canton, Ohio.
Oh man, there's pro stocks all over that. And great family put that on. Smucker's helped promote
Yes,
that.
yes.
I can't thank Kevin and Danny Smucker for Danny the way the effort he made to try it. They made me feel so welcome there. I rolled them in, and I had a prior engagement home I needed to be home for on Sunday. So, I mean, they actually strategically parked me, so as soon as the poll was over, I could get out early, and
Wow.
it really made it worthwhile. Just, they treated you great, track was good. I got, the first night, I had a little mechanical problem there. I had a little miss in the motor the first night, ended up
Okay.
fourth.
Okay.
Which is good, still solid pass amongst this group. I mean, I was fortunate all year, but kind of sealed it off. We came back the second night and actually won.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's
that,
great.
that really, that made that 12.5 hour drive home go a little bit faster.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Especially
I
when you
got
have to be
hands off to all the rest of the competitors, but out of that event was what Danny Smucker and his family do to make that possible.
Yes,
And like I say, another Jim Miller prepared track,
yes.
you just can't beat it.
And, you know, winning makes that drive home,
No,
no matter if it's an hour
You
or
forget
12 and a
everything.
half, that
Yeah.
drive home is a lot shorter after a win. So season wrapped up in Sandwich, Illinois.
Yes.
2 hooks, an afternoon and an evening at the DeKalb County Fair. Tell us about that.
I had pulled at Sandwich in the past,
Okay.
great facility, fairly close to home, 5.5, 6 hours.
Nice.
Nice to get into, and well, we had a sizable lead, but nothing's for sure, you
Right,
know, and
right.
we were, I was really happy there. My daughter and my son both, and my grandson were there, his family helped crew
Great.
chief me that last for the
Oh,
deal.
that's great. That's great.
And making the push, but we went to the entry window and drew first hook
Okay.
for the afternoon poll. And sometimes that's good, and sometimes that's bad. But
Right.
I made an almost really solid run and ended up winning the afternoon poll, solidified the championship then. So it didn't matter what I did that night. And so we were able to enjoy that, and we ended up third that night. So
Nice.
a great way to finish the year, you know, first and second. And like I said, the track again, phenomenal track that Mr. Miller had come out and helped him build that. And when you go into a good sled and a good track and a good facility, it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of a lot of fun, who do you want to thank? Your sponsors?
I tell you, I had a devastation to being yeared in another pole at a different association, and before I was off the track, I mean, it was total devastation. I broke the rear end, kicked 3 rods out of the motor. I mean, it tore up the frame. Before I was off the track, my phone is blowing up with text messages. Larry Peterson from ProFab, what do we need to do for your drive line? Kalel Harris, CJ, let's get the rear end, what do we need to get ordered? Steve Kalinowski from Weimer Fuel, you know, get the fuel pump here. Keith Schock from Riverside Engines, I got a motor ready for you. I mean, I'm not even 10 minutes after this happened, and I got all my suppliers
Oh, wow, that,
pitching in to help me. So without Weimer's, Riverside Engines, CJ Hare back home doing my rear end work, Larry Leeson, ProFab. A big component to me is Brad Moss at Wicked Metal Works. He helped build the tractor a few years ago for me, and anything I need from him or any support, he's always been there for me. But yeah, and then, like I say, my family for keeping things going so I can be gone. I mean, honestly, we drove over 12 hours, 4 out of 5 weeks in a row. We had weekends we spent in Ohio coming back and forth.
Wow.
That's a strain on a farming operation, strain
Yes.
on your family.
Yes.
And without them helping me and supporting me this year, we couldn't have done this.
yes. So who do you want to thank specifically in your family and back home at your farm?
Well, I mean, I got 2 guys that work for me full time. I couldn't do it without them. They keep it going. But
Okay.
it all kind of goes back to my dad had left us about 5 years ago. But back in my younger days pulling, he kept the farming going while I was off messing around pulling all summer long. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to pull today.
Yes.
But no, my wife and my kids support me, my grandkids. And I said, you know, there's a lot of people, a lot of local people that can pick up the slack if I can't be there on things.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's one of the things, you know, that you've been in the sport a long time. You know, just the family, the friendships, you know, that everyone supports each other.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you had the devastation, and like you say, everybody was right there, ready to help you, get you back on the
Yep.
track. I mean, it just means so much.
Oh, it is. I mean, it's a very humbling deal. When I secured the championship, I mean, the chassis was originally built by Tim Engler. I got a text from Tim right away, you know, and just on down the line. I used to buy everything from Hypermax Engineering. And Jeff Ale from Hypermax was at Sandwich to watch the Diesel Supers run at Travis and that. And he come over and had a nice visit with him. And he just, I mean, for years I did all that super stock stuff with them. And it's nice to reconnect. And just the good people you meet, you have for lifetime friends.
Right, exactly. From all over the country.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's funny, you go to a poll and, you know, you run into people from literally across the country, and it's just a friendship and a family relationship. So, what does it mean to win this one? 1993, not to date ourselves, but that was a while ago, to 2021. I mean,
I guess what was impressive about 93 is because we still trying, before they separated the classes.
yes,
And, like right now, the Ross family, they're running against them guys and getting it done, but it takes a lot of effort. And I was pretty proud of that one that year, but I wasn't married at the time and having a family, so this is more important to me to share it with the family. In fact, probably one of the most humblest things I've got going today is that my two daughters that are 24 and 30, they're flying out here today to be with Spider at the banquet and
Okay,
support me.
great.
And that makes the guys
yeah.
feel pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. We're taping this at the 2021 NTPA Convention and Banquet. So, Rob, anything else you want to say? Anyone else you want to?
No, I love pole. I don't really care what affiliation or what. I love the people. I love the sport. It's something I've been fortunate enough to be adequate or good at, but it's just the people. It's all about the people.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, your 2021 NTPA Grand National Pro Stock Champion out of Prescott, Iowa, Rob Russell with the Workhorse Pro.